Hello everyone, so this video follows on from the previous video I did where I did a bit of a pre-flight planning for the flight that I want to do to demonstrate some features on the new xPlane 12.1.0 Beta 2. This video itself is going to be in the aircraft, showing you some of those features on the ground in the Garmin 1000. So we'll start xPlane. This is the splash screen for xPlane 12.1.0 Beta 2. Full screen. We'll do a new flight. We'll be departing from Jersey and then go specifically East Apron, I guess. Let's have a look at the charts. So for charts for this I use chartfox.org, and then you can go to Echo Golf Juliet there and look at the ground chart, the aerodrome chart. You've got the Eastern Apron, Standard 40, outside the hangar. That's the cargo centre, the aero club's over here. So yeah, why not Eastern Apron? Why not? I'll confirm that one. We spoke in the other video, we're going to be using the SR22, our Golf Oscar Papa Mike call sign. We'll be on real world weather. Just rescan that, make sure that's up to date. It's important you do use real world weather if you're flying on VATSIM, of course, to make sure the QNH and everything else is matched up. And we'll go with real time as well. We'll just check weight balance and fuel. We want to be, it says I'm too heavy, so I want full fuel, and I'll just get rid of the passengers and the cargo, and then we're under. I'll just switch that to metric. Okay, happy days. We'll start with the engines off, of course, and then we'll start the flight. So I have got on the other monitor over on the one you can't see, the xPlane 12.1.0 Beta 2 release notes. So I'll just go through those. This video is mostly going to be about the G1000, that's kind of the purpose of me doing it. So I'll show you what that looks like in the new version of xPlane, and some new features which are, in my opinion, pretty nice. And the reason for flying on VATSIM for this is to show you some of the traffic, adjacent traffic that you can see on the Garmin now, which is displayed differently as well. So while that's loading up, I'll load xPilot. Flight plan's been filed. I've already set up my settings, so it's just waiting for the connection to xPlane, and then we'll be able to connect through xPilot. So we're in the aircraft here. So let's get going and show you what's what. We'll turn the battery on. We get the splash screen for the Garmin's come up. It's doing AHRS align, so keep the wings level obviously while it turns on. And the startup splash screen, what's new is it shows the navigation database exploration data version of xPlane here, over here on the right hand side. So we've got the in fact, I'll just plug in my joystick so you don't have that horrible mouse control box over the top of everything. There you are. So it's got the navigation expires on the 13th of June 2024, so that's in date. And version of xPlane, there's the version of global xPlane airports. So we're on xPlane 12.1.0 Beta 2. Directory, and we can press enter or the rightmost soft key to continue. And here we are with the I'll just show you who's online on VAT glasses. So it looks like we've got some other aircraft at Jersey. Might not show if they're on the ground actually, so let's go to Fantastic. Yeah, so we have got some other aircraft on the ground at Jersey. All these ones, 4 in fact, which is what we can see on the Garmin there. So if I zoom in, this is just on the default nav. You can see those triangles now, instead of prior to this update I believe they were just squares, but now we can actually see which way they're pointing and kind of more what they're doing. So added ADS-B traffic symbols and the option to display METARs on the nav page on default nav map. So if I go to map, perhaps, where can I show the METARs? Not sure about that METAR thing. Don't seem to quite see that. Anyway, and then on the traffic map, so I'll switch over to traffic, you can see those ADS-B traffic targets with precise velocity vectors. So when these get airborne, we'll be able to see velocity vectors. At the moment we can't because they're not really moving. But you can see the flight ID as well. So and flight ID or tail numbers. And the traffic can be filtered to normal altitude range for default, above for climb, below for descent, and unrestricted to see traffic at all levels. So to do that you go on the alt mode, and then we're on normal here. We can do below, above, unrestricted, or normal. Go back. It's gone quiet outside as somebody disconnected. Must have been somebody nearby that's disconnected. Anyway. So yeah, we'll maybe see that later on when we get airborne or whatever, where we get the actual velocity vector on there. And then the next page is the storm scope, which shows the lightning activity around the aircraft. We don't have any lightning activity at the moment, so that's just blank, obviously. And then data link weather page shows in-flight data weather received over ADS-B or XM satellite. So we can show that next rad cloud top. We've got a bit of cloud, so if I just zoom out, you can see where the cloud is and isn't. Lightning. There's no lightning at the moment. And then winds aloft. So I can do surface winds, 3,000 foot winds, etc. all the way up to flight level 420 winds. It's quite nice. Switch them off. And then the METAR as well. We can see which stations have METARs here. Oops. So these different airports with a METAR, it's they're on that screen. Switch that off. So next then is the terrain. So this shows track up terrain warnings. So you can see our the blue is obviously there's no terrain there, but you've got a load of red because we're at the ground level and France is above us. Just zoom back in a little bit. That's the island of Jersey. It's quite nice. And then on the waypoint page, in fact, before we get too involved in this, I'll just start the engine so we don't lose battery power. Now we don't have to worry about the battery dying on us while we're halfway through having a look at this. So on the waypoint page, airport information, display airport information, and it can pull the decoded METAR reports for any airport received over ADS-B or XM in real life. So I'm at Jersey, and it's got the information about the runways there and the frequencies. So the AWOS is the Automatic Weather Observation System, so it's kind of like the ATIS frequency in practice for an airport with an ATIS. So while I'm on this page, I may as well get that tuned in. So I'll get 134.680, switch that over to the COM1 primary, and then I want ground after that, presumably 121. Assume they come on 905. Cool, that's on a standby. Yep. I've got to show you the actual weather decoded METAR thing. So if you select the WX button there, soft key at the bottom, it shows you the decoded METAR like that in the screenshot. So that's the airport page. On the intersection page, oops, displays information about any intersection including its nearest VOR. So I think to get this you click the cursor, and then I can do, I don't know, let's think of an intersection, L bus, and the nearest VOR is there, 175 miles from Elvas, radial 1310, Altrincham. Doesn't seem quite right to me, but that's what it says. Anyway, and then NDB and VOR pages display information about any nav aid, including its nearest airport. So if I go to first, oops, get rid of the cursor, go to, oops, clicking the wrong ones. So this is NDB, that's KIM NDB. If I type, and it's got a nearest airport, obviously is at Humberside, it's based at Humberside. And then similarly for, I'll keep doing that. The Altrincham VOR there, nearest airport is wherever that is. But if I do a more sensible VOR, so say I go Lambourne, yeah, and then it will show is that Stapleford as the nearest airport. Ah, maybe that's what I did wrong. Maybe I didn't press enter. So if I go back to, still got the cursor. I'm learning how to do this. So Lambourne, press enter. That shows Stapleford. But if I go back to Elbus and do that and press enter, it shows Taller as the nearest VOR at 24 miles. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So you just got to press enter to get that to actually like activate. Perfect, that makes more sense. And then if we go to the aux page, so get rid of the cursor again, go to aux. On GPS status it shows the current GPS accuracy and GPS status, whether diff or nav is available, and allows deselection of SBAS if desired for training. So that's that, is it? So yeah, disable that or enable it. 3D nav, 3D diff nav with SBAS active or disabled. Cool. I don't think I'm ever going to use that really, but there you are. And then on the LRU page, so I've still got the cursor, haven't I? LRU. It's got the system status, so it shows status of all LRUs of the G1000 and helps with detection of failures. So you've got all the different things like COM1, how do I, yeah, all down to GPS. Cool. And then that's the aux page, and just a note as well about the G1000. When started cold, the PFD stays in reversionary mode until pilot has acknowledged the database on the MFD. That's what we saw when we turned it off and on. So I'll just leave the engine running, turn the batteries and avionics and everything off, battery on and alternator on. So that's about this. It stays in this until the pilot has acknowledged the database on the MFD. Cool. So hopefully we'll get to see those features a bit during the flight. Just got to wait now for the actual ATC to come online, and then we'll get going. Oh, I see somebody's just taken off there, so let's switch this back to traffic map, and you can see the velocity vector and the flight ID. You can turn off the flight ID there, but you can see that shuttle 753 looks like they're probably on approach at 800 feet, and EV29 Echo uniform approaching 2,300 feet, and I can just check that by looking on my little nav map, and that's confirmed shuttle 753 there, EV29 Echo uniform there. That's really quite nice, especially if you're on Unicom or something and you can use that a bit more like a TCAS, but you know who you're trying to talk to on Unicom on VATSIM. That's really quite handy, and you know which way they're going and everything as well. So I hope that was a useful little run through of the changes to the G1000, and in the next video I'll show you how to program up the actual flight, and then after that we'll do the actual flight. So I hope that was useful to you. Catch you next time.